What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or GameOverJesse, as all of you may know me, here with us on episode 52 of the Hylian Gamescast on September 16th, one day before my daughter's birthday. Is for the second time, Gibbs?
Yeah,
yes,
second time.
Second time, yeah. He joined the podcast 2 seconds ago. We also have Ilya above me. Ilya, you had a video post on your channel not too long ago. What video was that?
What was it? I recently posted a video about my top 5 favorite Twilight Princess characters, where I brought on a friend of mine from my university, back in our university days, who was also a big Zelda fan. So 2 people talking about their favorite Twilight Princess characters.
Awesome. And finally, sitting beside me is the Chubes, Chiblima.
What? Hello.
Awesome.
Everything is lagging, so I'm just catching up.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is lagging.
Hello, it is I.
So on
Chiblima.
Today's podcast, we got a bunch of stuff about the Nintendo Online service and the NES games that are coming with it. And we're going to be talking about everything, literally everything, that was revealed during the Nintendo Direct. Before we move on, discussing Super Mario Sunshine. Have you played Sunshine, Gibbs?
I have not.
Oh, well, that's okay, because you're my sunshine. And we are going to end the mailbag answering Zelda questions sent in from fans like yourself. We have some questions about Banjo and some other games, which we recently did a review on, so go watch the best of Banjo and then why we hate Banjo. We don't hate Banjo. Alright, so getting us started, actually, I went back to read the blog narc thing, and I forgot.
You forgot to add it?
No, I didn't forget to add it. I forgot everyone. I forgot everyone.
So you only mentioned Blognar.
On our Zelda mailbag, sometimes we get too many questions to answer, but if you would like to have your question guaranteed to be answered on the show, or a topic that you suggest be discussed by all of us, you can become a Patreon supporter, just as Blargnar has, as well as Jacob, Michael, Elmer, Bootleg Boy, Gus, Justin, That One Pancake, Key of Time, 15, Monica, Casey, Link Use the Triforce, Megan, Lunarium, Robbie, Shout Out to Us, Rusty, and Daniel's favorite, who isn't here, Lovable Christy. Alright.
Yeah, not the unlovable Christy, which apparently we have 2 Christies, so I'm concerned.
Concerned?
Which one of the Christies is not lovable?
Neither. The unlovable one isn't even a supporter.
Oh, wow.
That's why she's unlovable. I'm just making up crap.
Alright, so you guys ready to begin?
Yeah, let's rumble.
Alright. Everyone's good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Gibbs?
Yeah.
Alright, I didn't hear you. Alright, what's up, everybody? I am Jesse. Here with us is Kayla, Ilya, and Gibbs. We're going to be talking about a lot of news that came out recently about the Nintendo Online service, the NES games that are coming with it, and the awesome NES controllers that they released for it, or going to be releasing at least. We have a few different pieces of news, but each piece of news is kind of small, so it adds up to make an interesting, newsworthy video. It begins with Nintendo saying that the Nintendo Switch Online NES games will run in HD resolution and have filters. For those who don't know, filters are what they had for the NES and SNES Classic to change the view. So you can put like scan lines and stuff in it that some people like. I'm not personally a fan of it. The HD resolution is something that I thought was kind of obvious. Like the Wii U had the games in like 720p, so I imagine the Switch would have them in at least 720, if not higher. A second piece of news is the NES games have suspend points and show a cursor that your friends on your friend's screen during online play. Now, this one is a bit different than anything they've had before. This comes from Nintendo Everything, and they say more and more details about the NES games included with Nintendo Switch Online are coming to light. The latest batch of information comes straight from the official website. On the Nintendo Switch Online page for NES games, a couple of clips are shown. One of these confirms that suspend points will be included. We've compiled the footage into the video below. And then it says, when playing online, you can display a hand-shaped cursor on your friend's screen. Use it to give hints or to point out strategic locations. You can even clap to congratulate them. Now, this might be like, well, what kind of use would this be? Because they give an example of Mario and he's just pointing at the blue screen, which doesn't make sense in the example. But it's like if you're watching your friend play The Legend of Zelda, for instance, which has a lot of hidden stuff. There's a lot of bombable walls that you wouldn't know is bombable. So you could move the cursor on the screen to point at the spot on the wall that you would need to bomb to go in to the cave to get an upgrade or something. So that is what it could be used for, and then if they do something awesome, you can do like a clap emoji, I guess. So that's a bit interesting, a little bit different, something that I wouldn't have expected. And then finally, Nintendo just confirms that the NES controllers only work on NES games and do not work while charging or attached to the Switch, which I don't know a reason that you would want to play it while attached.
Amazing. You're telling me that I can't play Dark Souls Remastered on the NES controllers while it's on my Nintendo Switch?
How rude.
Yeah,
I'm offended.
That is what I'm saying.
That was Joey Ferris, I think. That was so funny.
Yeah. And then I guess this is actually the final piece of news. I apologize. Your cloud saves that you have that come with the Nintendo Switch Online. If your online service expires or runs out, your save will be deleted. So on PlayStation Plus, for example, I believe if your PlayStation Plus subscription runs out, you don't have access to your save. But once you get PlayStation Plus again, you can have access to your save. I think that's how it works. Not completely sure. But Nintendo says that your cloud save just disappears, which I imagine they'll end up fixing in like the first couple of months after enough people complain. So, guys, there's a lot of small pieces of news here. Starting with you, Gibbs, our special guest. What are your thoughts on all this?
The one I hadn't heard about was the cloud saves.
Oh, you haven't heard that yet?
Wow,
No.
it's such a big controversy right now.
Honestly, I had not heard about that one, but I do think the PS4 works as Jesse was saying. And there was a time on my PS4 where I did not use the cloud saves, or I was not paying for the subscription, yet I was still able to access past games that were off my PS4. Either way, whenever I renewed it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna, I mean, as it is, if anything, they're probably already getting a lot of flack for it, for something like that, and being so close, I don't think it's gonna last long before they make changes onto that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the biggest and fastest change that I've seen that's come from people that just insulted and made fun of Xbox for was, if you remember during the Xbox One launch event, they made a big deal about how, or there was some weird controversy that if you bought a game, it would be locked to the system that you played it on. So it basically, it was to combat used game sales, so that if I buy Halo and I take it to GameStop and then someone goes and buys a used copy of Halo that I turned in, Xbox or Microsoft loses the money that they would get because all of the profit would then go to GameStop because the game's not new. So they were trying to combat that, and it would basically lock every game to the first console that it was played on, which is something that publishers had already been doing on a smaller scale by giving you like download codes when you first buy a game. Like, if you buy this game, you'll get this item for free and this item for free. So then after you use those codes, someone else could buy the game for like $40. But if they wanted to get all of that extra stuff that comes with the codes, then they would have to buy a new version. I think there was one game that actually came out that had the multiplayer locked behind the code that came with it. So once people bought the single player game, they would have to use the code to download the multiplayer. But then when they take the game to return it, the other people buying the used version would be locked out of the multiplayer. So it was something similar that Microsoft was trying to do, and everyone complained. And within a week or two, Xbox came out and they completely changed the way that all of their online stuff for Xbox One worked. So if Microsoft was willing to change a big position that they were trying to push forward on their Xbox Online service, I imagine Nintendo would be quicker to do that. And this is something that's so small that it wouldn't require a lot to change, because I imagine it's just like flipping a switch that says, hey, if this person's no longer a Nintendo Online subscriber, just don't delete their stuff. So, seems like a very easy problem to fix. But going to you, Ilya. What are your thoughts?
So, kind of two thoughts on this. On everything, I guess. The NES controller thing, I find it funny that they have to be redundant about that, because I do find it redundant. They'd be like, yeah, you can't play it while charging, like, on the Switch. It's one of those things that I'm like, Nintendo having to cover all their bases before people are like, why can't I play it like this? Weirdos that do weird things. So I find it funny they have to do that. I like that the NES games can be in HD resolution. I think that'll be really cool, because I will say, as much as I love playing some old games, which I'll be honest, the furthest back I've played is the Super Nintendo, which can only hook up to kind of older TVs, which is fine for nostalgia's sake. But after a while, it's like, this hurts. Hurts my eyes. And then regarding the online service, I know there's so much controversy about that. So many people complain about so many things, to which I will kind of just echo what I think Misclick has been saying, which is like, guys, just let it come out. They'll fix any issues that are there. Just chill. So many people are like, I hate Nintendo now because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're still going to get it. You know you will. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on all the little things.
Yeah, and
all the little things.
The thing that I keep thinking about is like, with PlayStation and Xbox, like, you're paying 3 times the price that Nintendo's requiring. So with Nintendo charging $20 and this is them first beginning an online subscription service. It wasn't even ready whenever the Nintendo Switch first came out, but I think that was more of them not wanting to hassle everyone with like a paid online service at the very beginning. I think it was probably ready to go, but they wanted to give, like, with PlayStation 4 or like Xbox One, when you were, well, PlayStation 3 you could play games for free, but Xbox One specifically, when you're moving from the last generation to the new generation, you're already expecting, hey, if I want to play online, then I can just, I have to get this online service. But with Nintendo, whether you're coming from the 3DS or the Wii U, you don't have the paid online service. So a lot of people would be like, I just bought this Nintendo Switch nothing was there to tell me that I had to buy an online thing to play the games that I want to play. So like if they're buying Splatoon 2 with their Switch, then they don't have the online service, so then like they miss out on 99% of Splatoon 2. But then Nintendo could have done the thing where they're like, hey, if you buy this game, you get a week free, and then you have to pay. Like there's some different things that they could have done, but I think they delayed it to do some minor tweaks and stuff, but they also wanted to be able to let people experience the Switch without having to worry about the paid online service. So like I think all of the issues that they're having, the people are complaining about, they'll end up fixing soon. Like Ilya said, like just give it a few months. They'll have a Nintendo Direct or something where they mention all of the updates or improvements. Like PlayStation owners are still complaining about not getting or not being able to change their usernames. So who knows? But finally, tubes. Yeah.
I'm really excited about the NES controllers. I think that's probably like the coolest thing ever. Kind of bummed out though, because like I literally have my NES mini, so sucks to suck. But I think like the main focus out of everything is really like the Nintendo line. Like I know a lot of people have been complaining about it, and like for me, like I'm such a laid back person. It's like I'm paying $20 a year for quite a bit, like more than I would get with anything else that I pay $20 a year for. Like I pay more to go to the gym monthly. Jeez. And it's just like little things like that. But on the other end of the spectrum, it's like this is Nintendo. Nintendo is so like they're just before the times. Like whenever they come out with things, they blow people's minds. And I just think it's crazy that they came out with this entire online service and not including things like just basic necessities, like being able to save more than 3 games on the cloud. So like I'm not upset with Nintendo, but I understand where people are coming from, just because like PlayStation and Xbox have been all over this forever. And Nintendo is just kind of like dipping their toe in. So I think it's kind of like intimidating, but I think a lot of people probably have the expectations raised a lot higher for Nintendo as a company, just because they're so impressive. Like, I'm not mad at them very often, but yeah. But like I said, like, I'm super easy to please. Like, I'm cool with that as long as I can play online with my friends. Voice chat is whatever. Like, I'll probably just talk to you guys on Discord.
Yeah.
Saving games shouldn't be a problem for me because I really shouldn't break another Nintendo Switch. Yeah, that's all I got. NES games out the words.
So Kayla mentioned the NES controllers that are coming with it, and the news update is that they confirmed that the NES controllers will only work with NES games, which kind of makes sense. Like, there's not many games that you would want to play with an NES controller, like trying to play Breath of the Wild with 2 buttons. Like, you could jump and swing a sword. Why would you try that? That's it. Yeah. So it makes sense that they would limit it to just the NES games.
And the price point for them is actually a lot lower. I believe it was like $60 for the NES controllers, whereas getting Joy-Con is like $100.
Yeah, the only problems that I have with the NES controllers is the way that they look with the bar on top that you use to charge it. I kind of wish you could take that off if you...
I wonder if you can put the strap on it, though.
I was wondering about that, too.
Because you don't...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, it's hard. Like, it looks ugly and it's unpleasant, but I don't know if you can, maybe you can put it on and it just looks a little bit less unsightly, but I also feel like the bracket for it might not be long enough. So...
Yeah. Like, I just wish you could, like, take the bracket off and then have the choice to charge it with the USB cable, like the actual Switch Pro controller.
Yeah.
That way it doesn't look... Because they look great, they just look like a different sized normal NES controller. I think they're bigger than the mini, though, the classic. I'm not really sure, but it's like, it just looks so odd. There's probably something that you wouldn't really notice while playing, but just the aesthetic of it looks off. But Ilya, Gibbs, do you guys plan on purchasing the NES controllers that come with it?
I'm doubtful that I will.
If I do, I will go ahead and go all out and try to import some Famicom controllers from Japan, because they will be releasing the red and gold from the Famicom.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Ooh.
They do get
I guess I probably wouldn't, just because there's very few NES titles that I would be interested in playing. So it's like, apart from Zelda 1, the very first Zelda, there's not really many that I want to play, so I don't see the point in purchasing them.
Super Mario Brothers 3? Come on.
But I have that on my 3DS. Or I have something on my 3DS.
Alright. Does anyone have any final thoughts on all of this?
I did. It went away, and I'm really sad.
The only thing I can think of, unfortunately, like, to fellow Nintendo fans, like, be patient with Nintendo. You know, don't stop supporting Nintendo just because they've made a couple of weird decisions. And I've seen it, like, countless times over Twitter, like, you can be a fan of a company and still have, like, positive critiques for them. Because we love Nintendo. We want to see the best for Nintendo. So us saying these little things, like, it's not like, oh, we hate Nintendo. It's like, okay, like, I love Nintendo, but this was a little bit weird.
Yeah. And Nintendo is really good about recognizing their flaws, you know? Like, on some things, they're ahead of the time. And then on other things like this, yeah, they're a little bit behind, but you know what? They're catching up. Look at Breath of the Wild. Everyone had been saying for years, break the formula, break the formula. And Breath of the Wild took from all the people that had these open world games, and they made a kick-ass game. Pardon my French. So Nintendo's good about this stuff.
Yeah, it's really weird that, like, with Breath of the Wild, there was, like, the director for games like Skyrim or The Witcher have said in interviews that the biggest influence they had were, like, the open-ish worlds from the Zelda series. But then it's like, those games were inspired by Zelda, and then Breath of the Wild was inspired by those games. So it's like they're just playing off of each other, which is kind of cool.
Which is cool.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I remembered the random thing.
Okay.
Concerning the NES controllers. There was someone on Twitter, I want to say it was like Nintendo or someone, I think said what I think a lot of us are thinking, even though, like, I'm not going to get them, but which was, these NES Switch controllers are so ridiculous. I must have them.
That was basically Daniel's response to it, too. He was like, what? These are ridiculous. I need them.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, it's Daniel. Of course he's going to buy them.
Oh, yeah. And if it's amiibo related, oh, you can count on it.
Alright, are we ready for the next news story?
Yeah.
Alright, and everyone watching, be sure to comment below and let us know what your thoughts on all of the NES and Nintendo online services. I feel like there's a lot of people that still aren't aware of it, and they'll just wake up and not be able to play Splatoon.
Oh, that'd be really sad. Like, I'm gonna get it anyways because we have good, like, co-op games that are about to happen. Gonna happen. Yeah. Whenever Daniel gets it.
Yeah. Alright. Everyone's ready for the next piece of news?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're not going to read the description of all of these. We're just going to go through, and I'm going to list off all of the titles and stuff that were announced, and then we can talk about our favorites instead of reading the description of every single one.
Yeah, because there was a lot.
Yeah, there was so much.
Yeah, we'd be doing our own direct if we...
Seriously.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Ilya Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like. And comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.